When you try your best but you don't succeed. When you get what you want but not what you need. When you feel so tired but you can't sleep.
No! Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Standing Out, a daily podcast about sales, marketing, leadership. This is so depressing. I can't even believe I'm wearing this. All right, well, let's just get the show on. This is episode, I think, like 162. I don't even know. I don't even care, actually, at this point. It's just so depressing. I guess we got to give a shout out to our sponsors. So, TAFs, they're the good guys in freight factoring. I mean, they're keeping drivers' wheels turning with cash flow resources and, discounts on insurance and fuel and tires and other things. So check them out at tafs.com. Let them know that I sent you. And if you get a chance, look at us on our website and, see what we're doing. It may not even matter anymore. I mean, I cannot believe I'm in a Bills shirt. This is just brutal, everybody. So I guess with that said, let's just get the show started. I'll bring on my guest today and deal with this. My guest is a jerk from Concept Logistics. I think he leads their sales department, and this is all his fault. This may or may not be a good episode today. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Everybody, please welcome to the show my former good friend, Jon Deveny. John.
Trey, my man. You look good in blue and red, man.
I don't even know how to start the show. I don't even know how to do this. This is terrible. Tell everybody why I'm in Bill's garb. Please, just start the show. Tell everybody why.
I think just, we had a nice little bet, a nice little wager going. We knew both of our teams were playing before we were coming on the show here, and why not make it a little fun? I think if the roles were reversed, I don't know.
The mood would have been way different. I'm going to say that. Yeah, the mood would have been way different.
I think you could see what you could see what we experienced last January.
Yeah.
But I think this is just, round one of the rematch. I think we'll both be talking again in a couple months, and who knows, maybe we'll have to put something else on the plate here.
I'm sure there will. I mean, at least I didn't lose any money. Let's just say that I didn't lose any money. And thank you, Jeff, for perspective. It is only Monday morning. It's not a big deal. And it is only October. It's not January. You guys had the much more difficult defeat last year. Shout out to my friend Nate Cross, who had to wear a Mahomes jersey on a podcast. So, could have been a lot worse, but it was a lot of fun to be a part of that. And, the Bills played a great game. This is going to be a great rivalry for, I feel like, years. I mean, these games are going to go back and forth, and it's going to be tremendous. So it's been a lot of fun. Okay, so John, let me not steal your thunder. Take a few moments and tell everybody a little bit about yourself and about Concept Logistics.
Sure. So I've been in this logistics industry for 18 years now. I've been doing sales.
No way. You're not old enough. There's no way you've been in here 18 years.
Yeah, no, I get it a lot. It's a funny story. I actually got stopped at our local mall the one time when I was like 27, because you have to be over 18 to be there after 5 o'clock. And I guess I felt honored because I'm like, I still look that young. But yeah, I've been in about 18 years. I've been in sales and sales leadership over the past, 6 to 8 years. And, made my way over here to Concept Logistics. Love the culture, love the atmosphere, the path to organizational growth. And I'm looking forward to, boosting up our sales program here and getting our name out there.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. We'll get into sales in just a little bit. My grandma used to say, though, one day it's going to pay to look young. And so, when you get a little older and you still have black hair, not gray hair like the rest of us, that's going to pay off for you. Funny story. The only reason I have facial hair is because when I was a teacher, I was a physics teacher. And so I taught like juniors and seniors in high school, and I was 24. And on parent teacher night, I got confused for a teacher's assistant. And I was like, okay, I got to have facial hair now. I got to put that on. So I know the feeling, and it's not a bad thing. All right. Yeah. Now listen, you didn't come here alone today. You came here with someone else, a good friend of mine, also who I've known for quite a long time. So we got to get him on here. So everybody, please welcome to the show an extra special guest today, Justin Smith. Justin, what's up? Oh, I thought we were done with the Bills talk. You're wearing a jersey, you got a shirt in the back. It's probably a Bills hat in the back. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you squirm a little bit.
That's all right, man. Good to see you, man. How are you doing?
Doing well. Good to see you also.
Dude, it's been a long time since you and I have connected, my friend. I'm glad to get the chance to have you on the show and chat a little bit and talk a little about what's happening over at Concept Logistics. You guys got something special going on over there. It's been a lot of fun to watch the journey. And you've been there, what now, 3 or 4 years now? I can't remember how long you've been there.
Yep, just hit 3 years. And we're doing a lot of fun things. John's actually pushed me out of sales. I'm now VP of strategy. I also have been doing this since I was 12, so I've been doing it for 19 years. So, but yeah, we're doing a lot of fun stuff. I'm focused on our bigger fish and building out our product, and John's just lining up the sales team and keeping our pipeline full. He's doing a great job.
Yeah. So you guys are moving from the realm of being more generalist when you start up and having to do a bunch of things to now starting to become a little bit more specialized. Talk about that transition, especially for you having to give up. Justin, I want to go to you for a minute. Having to give up, sales, which is something you've done for a long time. You're still doing sales, but now it's slightly different. What's that transition like when you guys start to become more specialized?
It's funny because I kept biting off more than I can chew anyway. So I was still kind of acting more specialized, but letting some balls drop. Helps to have someone with John's pedigree and leadership quality to lead the team. They don't need another leader, another cook in the kitchen there at all. So yeah, it's great. I'm a little nostalgic from time to time, but allows me to focus on the business a lot more.
Yeah, that's cool. John, talk a little bit about your experience in coming into Concept and kind of taking over that role. What have been some of the biggest challenges from a sales leadership perspective? Were you a producer up to this point, or have you had other sales leadership experiences before this?
Both. So, that's, got into sales, being a producer, being the grinder day to day. And then, as I progressed, it's always been a goal of mine to be in a leadership position. Even having a sports background, I love.
Why? Salespeople are hard to lead.
I like challenges. I love challenges.
Clearly.
Right. But yeah, just being in sports when I was younger too. I always wanted to be that coach. I coached soccer and hockey before too. So just being, a role model, someone to look up to, someone to pass on what I've learned. And I've always spread the word that I can learn just as much from others as they can learn from me too. So, coming from another sales leadership position over here to Concept, I just wanted to bring, my intangibles and things like that I can help grow Concept over here.
I love that. I want you both to answer this question and talk about this. And by the way, I'll bring my camera down just so the Bills is a little bit more prominent there and make sure we get the logo in there. But I want you both to answer this question. What is the most difficult transition that you guys experienced going from being a producer to being a leader? And how would you encourage other organizations who are thinking about maybe promoting a top producer into leadership? Because that's a different skill set. So Justin, let me go to you first. What are the biggest challenges from being a producer to being more of a sales leader?
I don't know. I've always felt like I was a bit of a sales leader in the first place, just because I was always willing to share and hop on, do demos with people, knowing I wasn't going to get credit. So that always kind of, I guess that was more in my nature. What was the second part to that question though?
And then what advice would you give to a company that's maybe thinking about promoting a top producer into leadership? Because again, those are two different skill sets to be able to produce and then to be able to lead.
They are. And actually I've made that mistake before. Take a top producer thinking they're going to be a great sales manager and sales leader. In reality, you're taking them out of their groove.
Sweet spot.
Exactly. Right. So, it's not for everybody. You can kind of tell some of those qualities like John has just to lead people, and all you need to do to be a leader is have followers. So yeah.
Unfortunately, that's true. You could be a good leader or a bad leader, but if you look behind and no one's following you, that's not good. John, I want to give you a chance to answer those questions. What was it like for you making the transition from being a producer to being more of a sales leader? And then what advice do you have for companies as they consider that transition for someone on their team?
Yeah, I think for myself, it was more of it doesn't have to be done my way. One thing I like to promote to my guys now is we can teach you the tools, we can teach you, different techniques, but you got to come up with your own swag. I think, come up with your own swag, come up with your own groove. That is what will make you successful. You can't be me. If there was 100 of me's, it'd be different. It'd actually probably be too hard to lead rather than, leading other people with different personalities and different, swag. And then as far as, I guess to Justin's point too, you got to find the right person. There might be people in the organization that they don't want to do that, and they're okay with that. I kind of compare it again. I like to use sports analogies a lot, but Wayne Gretzky, probably greatest hockey player ever, terrible coach. I hope he doesn't listen to this, but you could see, his success.
It happens, yeah.
But it happens,
right.
The success he had, right? And it's just some of the best coaches are, not always the best players. So I think, you just got to make sure you have all those qualities in a leader that you're looking for, someone, again, to follow you and not afraid to go to bat for you and everything and earn their respect and their trust. And there's your leader right there.
Yeah, I love what you said that. In fact, I think that, when you look at your sales team, let's say you have 10 sales guys, the best potential sales leader might be number 3 or 4 on the production chart. I think of like Steve Kerr. He's one of the best coaches in the NBA for the Warriors. He wasn't the best player on his team. Never was the best player on his team. He's a good player. He wasn't the best player on his team, but he's a great coach. He's a player's coach, and he obviously gets the most out of his team and builds a great culture. And I think that's true. I think that people need to look around and say, who is the person who's helping other people out? Who is the person who's staying late? Who is the person that's doing certain things that are leadership minded, not just the one that's bringing in the most revenue? And Justin, to your point, you take that top producer out of, a revenue position, that could be good or bad for them and bad for the company. It can go both ways.
Yeah, very true.
For sure.
Yeah, Sean McDermott, great coach, great coach for the Buffalo Bills, wasn't always the best player. But
he's okay.
Great coach. I just had to throw that in there.
Slide it right in there.
Yeah,
I could say the same thing about Andy Reid, decent player, great coach, right? That's, that happens quite a bit, although last night couldn't quite get the job done. Listen, we're not here to talk about that. All right?
Sorry, my bad.
Right. I want to switch gears for a minute and talk. John, we talked about this off camera. Talk a little bit about accountability meetings and what that means for you as a sales leader in your organization.
I think, accountability, owning your own actions, being always held accountable for what you're doing. I'm not one that, I don't like beating around the bush. I don't like, making excuses. Let's just be accountable. Let's own up to what we're doing. And I think that just molds and develops, a great core chemistry team together.
Yeah. Are you doing that as a group? Are you doing that one-on-one or both?
I do, both, but as an organization too. We do run weekly accountability meetings as a whole organization here. But I do have little powwows in the morning with my team individually before we get the day going, just to say, what did we do yesterday? What did we fail at yesterday? And what are we going to do to correct ourselves and win today?
Yeah. When you think about sports analogies, sales is really like a sports team because performance is a big part of the job, much more than probably another job that's in an organization. And can you imagine from an athlete's perspective? Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, their stats are out there for everybody to see. Like everybody can see their performance and what they did. I had somebody on my show last week talking about how they put all of their sales team's performance out for the entire company to see. Like it's not just the sales team, like they put it out for everybody to see and holds everybody accountable to what they're actually doing. And the people who don't like that are probably not the people you want on your team. They're probably not going to make it. And the people who do like that are the people that you want on your team because they're going to get after it and make sure their numbers look good in front of everybody. They're going to perform. So the idea of accountability from a sales organization, I think is really fascinating and how you accomplish that and the ways that you go about doing that. Justin, talk about your experience with that from an accountability perspective in sales and how much that matters.
It's paramount. Everybody in our company reads the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin within their first 90 days. So we kind of get that discipline mindset. Discipline equals freedom. And I think in today's society, sometimes people are people avoid and are afraid of the words accountability, discipline, responsibility in some cases. So making it commonplace, front and center. So when Brendan, Greg, and I came up with the weekly accountability call, it was to get people used to owning something, and whether you succeed or fail, show up to the call and own it. Down to putting it up on the screens on the floors. We've actually got screens going up, and not only sales but ops numbers and performance are going to be front and center for everybody. So we don't want anybody that wants to hide from the reality of the situation. So,
yeah. And isn't it interesting too, how the moment that we get out of school, because we grew up in school, we play on sports teams, we have coaches, we have metrics, we have all these things in place. But it seems like when we become an adult, we don't want that anymore. A lot of people hide away from that. They don't want to deal with that anymore. They don't want to have exposure of what they're doing or what they're creating. I love the fact that you guys have created a culture from that. What are some of the elements of extreme ownership? Because I haven't read that book yet. I need to read that book. I love Jocko Willink. I follow him on social. What are some other aspects of that book that you guys have incorporated in your culture at Concept?
I was gonna say, I think one of them is simplicity, keeping it simple. That's one of the chapters that talks about keeping things simple, and I think sometimes we overcomplicate things, and that potentially, right, could set up for failure, right. But it could set up for failure, and I think sometimes you keep it as simple as it needs to be. That's all you need. So a lot of our processes, a lot of what we're doing is having that simplicity factor in it.
Yeah, I love that. Justin, how about you? What else do you pull from that book?
Yeah, two of my favorites, prioritize and execute. Sometimes you have 19 things, and thinking about all 19 things isn't going to get one of them done. So, but probably my favorite is cover and move, just because team players. We have truckload teams who interface with our now LTL teams, and sometimes you just got to cover and move. And sometimes when your team gets to the finish line, you realize you left the other team behind. So it actually works within the teams, and then with, on more the macro for the whole company. So.
Yeah, I love that when you can take those types of principles and incorporate them. What do you guys do with those? Do you put them on the walls? Do you put them in emails? Like, how do you remind people about these concepts beyond just that first 90 days?
Some of them are going to go up on the walls. You see, John's in our new office. We just upgraded our digs there in Buffalo in February. Got a great new building, so we can really, staff up. Where we are putting a mural, and I'm sure a lot of that's going to make it in there. We also put everybody through a course in those first 90 days, and just really make sure we fully understand it. Greg Finnerty, our VP of Ops, you'll hear him reiterating a lot of the principles from that book just in our day-to-day.
Yeah, I think that's so important, because I think a lot of times with culture, we say, well, this is our mission, is our vision, our core values, but it's almost like it's just to check off a box. It's not a North Star. It's not a point that we use to galvanize everybody towards a common purpose. And these types of core values that you're talking about oftentimes just get missed. I had the chance to go to Lippert Components in Indianapolis. They make a lot of parts for RVs. My good friend Jason Lippert is there. They put all their core values up in all their warehouses and banners. They've got scores and on how people are doing against those core values that are listed up and everything. And just like making sure that's a part of the DNA of your company. I think that's really valuable in what you guys are doing. So I'm about to get up there and check out the new office too. It's been a while since I've been up to Buffalo. I got to go to Niagara 2 summers ago. So I got to get up to Buffalo and check out the new office, but not during football season. I'm not doing it. It's going to be in the spring or the summer.
Come here for the AFC Championship game, right?
You can come here for the AFC Championship game somehow. We're going to make that work. I don't know how, but somehow we got to get the records right to make that work. But we'll see how that goes. All right, guys. So I want to pause for a moment. We always have some fun segments that we do throughout the show. Do you guys know what today's day is? There's always a national day. Always a national day. Joggers Day, whatever it is. Do you guys know what today is? You guys have any idea?
No, sir.
Oh, well. It is National Boss Day, everybody. It is National Boss Day out there. And we just changed our background. Oh, whoops. We'll have to change that one back. Let me see if I can do that real quick. It's always amateur hour around here, everybody. So that's just kind of the way it goes. There we go. Now we got it back. But it's National Bosses Day, everybody. So, I don't know how I feel about that word boss. It's kind of a weird word, but it is National Boss Day. I don't have the office mug, so I had to make my own today.
Aren't you your own boss?
I am my own boss. Yes. But, everybody else, everybody should be their own boss. Everybody should be their own boss. I like that, Justin. We're going to go with that. Everybody's their own boss. Are you guys doing anything special for your bosses today? You are now, right?
I guess so.
Hopefully he's not watching this. He's surprised.
National Boss Day. I just learned about it this morning, so I don't know. We'll see if that goes anywhere if we do any of that. But anyways, that's kind of a fun thing, and I need to get one of those mugs from the office. That's probably going to be the best way to do that. So, are we going to have to switch back? We're going to have to switch back to turn the music off, aren't we? I think we are. Go ahead and do it. It's totally fine. All right. So, also, guys, one thing that we do is we have a random question that we do every day. I haven't seen this question. It's a total random question. So you're going to have to just bear with me. It could be good. It could be funny. It could be silly. It could be serious. I don't know. But we're going to see what it is. So let's go ahead and throw up the random question of the day that we're going to answer. What is it today? It is, name something you wouldn't want to run into in a dark forest or in an abandoned building. I've got one already. What do you guys have? You want me to go first?
Sure.
Spiderwebs, the worst. I was just on a trail run a little while back. Spiderwebs everywhere because nobody on the trail, and it was just miserable. I mean, just absolutely miserable having spiderwebs, and they stick to you and on your clothes, and there could be spiders everywhere, little bitty babies if you run into a nest. Like, it's horrible. I would not want to do that. So that's my first one. What do you guys have? Anything?
Say a hole in the floor or something in an abandoned building.
Yeah.
I don't want to be running there and falling down. Depending how big it is. 20 floors or 10 floors, whatever it may be.
Yeah, it's a good one. Hole in the floor is definitely a good one. I'll go with that. All right, Justin, what do you got? What do you not want to run into? Dark forest or an office building or an abandoned building?
I don't like being unoriginal, but you hit the nail on the head. Last thing I want to do is walk into a spider web, whether in the forest or an abandoned building. If it's on video, you're going to get a show.
It's the worst.
Exactly. I'll be dancing around, freaking out. The same thing.
Is there anything better to watch somebody walk into a spider web? Not walking into it yourself, but just to watch somebody walk into it. Probably one of the more entertaining parts of your life that you'll ever have. So it's pretty brutal.
That or dodging a bee, when you can't see the bee.
Oh yeah, dodging the bee. Yeah, doing this whole thing here, kind of doing that. Yeah. That's terrible. Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right, so decent question today. Not too philosophical, but just somewhat practical. So stay away from spider webs and holes in the ground, everybody out there, when you're going throughout your day. All right, so another thing we want to talk about, John, was companies that start podcasts. Are you guys thinking about starting a podcast? What are your thoughts about this?
I love it. And actually, Justin probably has more insight to that since, they are, we've talked about it already, but I love the idea. I think just what we're doing here, but the whole networking factor and getting special guests on and just chatting, maybe making some friendly wagers, right? I love the idea.
Yeah. We'll see how far we go with that moving forward. That's for sure. No, there's a lot of good to it. Justin, tell us your thoughts and your ideas.
Yeah, we'll be launching one next year. We're very fortunate to have built a really solid team internally with a lot of experience. I mean, we've got 20 and 30-year vets on our team in logistics. So we just got some core knowledge. One of our strategies is to become a thought leader in this industry, and we have the people within our own walls to do that in a variety of logistics elements. But we also are very well networked. So be able to bring on a lot of fun guest speakers, interviews. You're on the list to bring on. So
I'm not wearing this. Just don't even think about it. I'm not wearing this again.
Yeah. I mean, the goal is to just essentially become a thought leader and share knowledge, as much knowledge. If it adds value into the marketplace, then that's our goal.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can get out of podcasts. They're so underutilized. You can create a lot of evergreen content with it. You can use it for lead generation. I mean, I talk to people about this all the time. Think about this. If you have a podcast and you have a really big customer that you're trying to get into, why not invite that CEO on your podcast, let them tell your story? You may not get the business, but it gives you a natural reason to become friends and to network and to get to know each other. Like, there's so many different ways that you can utilize that. You can show off your team, your leadership, or even some people mid-level or lower in terms of the culture and all those kind of things. There's just so many good things that come out of it. I'm excited for you guys. Do you have a name for it yet? What should we look for?
We just decided
Are we making an announcement today? Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Stop
we
the press.
Logo out. So
Okay,
the concept
all right, so
of logistics.
The concept of logistics. So you got your name in there. Genius. That's well done.
And with Greg Finnerty, I mean, he's got a great radio voice, but he's made for camera. I mean, it'll be fun to bring people on and interview and all that good stuff. So it'll be an exciting time, that's for sure.
Are you going to have one host, or are you guys going to take turns, kind of putting different personalities behind it?
We're going to be co-hosting it and ganging up on whoever we bring on for the weekly call. Hopefully they're Chiefs fans, so we have a little fun with it.
Should be. I know a few. Kevin Coombs from Green Screens, you should have him on. He's a big Chiefs fan. Get him on there.
I was in California with him this week, actually. We were talking about the disappointment of last year's game.
Yeah, you guys were.
Yeah. He was saying, we were apologizing to Bills fans as we walked out. It was
That was a wild game. That was a
Yeah.
crazy game. I don't think I've ever felt like I've won and lost so many times in 2 minutes. In just 2 minutes. It was nuts. So that was pretty epic. But yeah, you should have some Chiefs fans on as well. That'll be a lot of fun. That's cool. I'm excited. So weekly show, concept of logistics.
Yeah, we'll start out doing bi-weekly stuff. But you bring up a good point. I mean, bringing on people that add value, bringing on customers. I mean, I think that's, having fun with it. I mean,
it's
to be unafraid that a bunch of brokers are going to be watching, you interview a customer,
Hey, if you're treating that customer right, what do you have to be afraid of? Right.
Exactly.
I mean, you got nothing to be afraid of. So again, it's accountability for you guys as well to make sure that you're treating people right and doing things right. I love people who are not afraid to put their secret sauce out there. I mean, that to me, like I love that, like Elon Musk took away all patents for Tesla. He's like, come on, bring it. Like, come build a car. Like, do your best. Like, to me, that's a boss move. We're going to call that's a boss move right there to do that. And I do have chocolate milk in here, so that's a boss move as well. No coffee for me. Yeah, but that's cool. I'm excited. So when is this going to launch? January? Is that what we're looking for?
It'll be probably into Q1, going into Q2 next year. So
awesome. Very excited. Well, I'm looking forward to that. And if I can help out in any way, just let me know. I'm not afraid to share the stuff I've learned through Hard Knocks here. So anything I can do to help you guys out, don't hesitate to let me know. But that's exciting news, man. That's awesome. What else is on the horizon for Concept Logistics?
I'll chime in here. We got our Concept Sales Program Academy that we're putting together, as we continue to venture out here, hoping to launch that 2023, right in January. Build that out.
What's the Sales Academy? Tell me more about that. What is that?
So it's pretty much looking for, anyone interested in a sales role, in a logistical role, with no experience. And we're going to teach you and educate you on as much as we can to make you dangerous enough to go out there and start your career in sales. Not only here in Buffalo, but essentially building out our office out in Boise as well.
Nice. So it's not just for people that are working at Concept or want to work at Concept. Maybe some will, but you're doing this more for the community and to help people out in terms of learning about logistics and getting started and possibly jumping into the industry.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, we'd want them to stick with us and build their future, build their careers. But just where I came from, I learned this industry from the ground up. I was driving forklifts, learning how to load and unload trucks, and look where we are today. So it's a good stepping stone for individuals that want to get into our industry. And some like to say, once it's in your blood, it's never going away.
Yeah, I've talked to so many people who did not plan to be in logistics, but they're here and they don't want to leave. It's such a great industry with great people. So no, I think that's awesome. What else is on the horizon? You were going to say one more thing and I interrupted you.
No, I think I just wanted to touch on that. Yeah.
Justin, what do you got on your horizon?
We're finishing our budgets and planning for next year. I know we got a lot of shows we're going to be at, SMC3, TIA. I just got back from our Thai TMS Summit. We got a great software partner there on our TMS side. We're just going to be getting out a lot more. Our LTL is going crazy. Truckload is scaling up nicely. And expect to see a lot more of us.
Am I going to see you guys at Technovations in 2 weeks down in Phoenix?
No, we're not going to that or F3, just the way the year is finishing up. But I'm pretty sure we're going to be at both of those next year.
All right, good. We'll plan on seeing you there in the spring. Miss you this time around. I mean, Phoenix in October, it's not a bad spot to be. So I'm looking forward to that. Well, guys, hey, listen, it's great having you on the show. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. I hope you'll come back and see us, especially when you get that podcast up and running. I definitely want to bring you on and talk more about that. But thanks so much for being a part of the show today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Trey.
Thank you, Trey.
Yep. And everybody else watching the show, thanks so much for being a part today. Thanks for the comments. Make sure you come back tomorrow. Going to have a great guest on the show tomorrow. Super excited about the entire week of episodes. So every day at 10:30 a.m. Central, make sure you join us for an episode of Standing Out, a daily podcast about sales, marketing, and leadership. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.